Good afternoon and welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis and we're here in the Money Matters Radio Network studios. We have a lot of guests who talk about business and entrepreneurship. I like this guest a lot because he represents the province of Quebec, New England's largest trading partner from what I know. And there's a lot of trade that goes on, and his business is to stimulate economic activity between the two regions. I'll let Peter Myerson, who's sitting in with me, introduce our next guest.
Our next guest is Jean Saint-Onge, who is with the delegation of Quebec in Boston.
Right.
Take it away, Jeff.
All right. First of all, bonjour, Jean. Could you please tell us what is the purpose of the Quebec delegation in New England?
Quebec delegation in New England is there mainly to promote trade between the New England states and Quebec. But also we promote different type of exchanges with the 6 New England states. We reach out to the state government. We promote also cultural exchanges. We want also to have more collaborative activities in the research and science sector, mainly in the Boston region. And also we promote exchanges between universities of Quebec and New England states.
Now, Quebec specializes. They have certain economic sectors that are more developed than others. Can we talk about those?
Yeah. First of all, Quebec economy is quite diversified. But maybe the most important sectors when you look at the relation between Quebec and New England, I would say would be the life science sector. We have a quite huge sector, mainly in Montreal and in Quebec City. We have something like 400 companies working in basic and clinical research activities. Close to 150 products are currently in development in Quebec. You have over 27,000 workers and more than 10,000 researchers working in public biomedical research centers in Quebec. And recently, Quebec signed an agreement with the Massachusetts Life Science Center to team up to form international collaborative activities to seek to advance research and development of new drugs, medical devices, and diagnostics. Other sector of importance, the information and communication technology. You have about 7,000 businesses employing over 145,000 people, ground transportation equipment, and also aeronautic sector. You might know that Bombardier, is a Montreal-based company, and Montreal is one of the most important aeronautic center in the world, behind Seattle and Toulouse.
Wow.
So there are many other sectors, but I would stop here.
Does Quebec have a strategy for addressing the U.S. market or the New England market?
Yes, our strategy is to identify a certain number of sectors, some of which I just spoke about, and we work mainly with small businesses that want to export. In some cases, it's their first try outside Quebec, and so we try to find them to give them some advices on their strategy in New England, and find them some distributors or other people that will help them to sell their products and services here in New England states.
What are the opportunities for investment in Quebec?
Well, as I said, the Quebec economy is quite diversified. So you have opportunity for investors. the sector we promote the most here in New England would be research and development, mainly in the life science sector. But you have great opportunities in the aerospace industry, agri-food industry, ground transportation equipment, information technology and communication, life science in general. And also, don't forget that the northern part of Quebec offers outstanding investment potential in the mining and forest industry sector.
I've been there. I mean, it's a beautiful place, and it raises the question of, what your major attractions up there are, or in Quebec.
Yeah. Well, I think what is very important for an investor is to be able to tap, an outstanding, stable, and competitively priced workforce, and we have that in Quebec. Also, operating costs are among the lowest in North America, and the government, Quebec government, offers custom-tailored tax incentive and financial in the assistance program for companies and
very sophisticated
workers.
Programs for that as well.
Yes, mainly in the research and development
area. Yes, I'm very familiar with that. It's quite substantial, and really is an incentive for American companies to locate in Quebec.
Yes. You have the example of Charles River Laboratories, who open a laboratory over there, and they employ over 1,000 persons right now.
Interesting. So have you always been a government official? I assume you weren't born a government official. How did you get into this position? What's your history?
Well, I've been working for the Quebec government for 28 years. So I started many years ago working in regional development. Then I worked in the Ministry of International Relations. I started in 1990 working on trade policy issues, also export financing. Then I worked I was sent to work in our office in New York, and I was in charge of the trade sector in our office in New York. Then I came back to Quebec City and I worked for the Ministry of International Relations. I was in charge of the Asia Pacific region, Latin America region, and for the last 3 years I worked on in the United States division of the Ministry of International Relations, then here in Boston 2 months ago.
So is this your first location in the United States that you've been positioned in?
No, I've been in New York City between 2000 and 2004.
Okay, so you moved up to Boston.
Yes.
An upgrade, we'll say, here in New England.
Yes, sure.
And it's closer to Quebec.
Yes, it's a 6-hour drive to Quebec City.
It's funny for me that so many people don't think about Quebec, and they don't realize that it really is the neighbor. It really is a very close neighbor. There are a lot of similarities between Quebec that make it easy to do business between the two regions. Can you talk a little bit about that also?
Yes, in my career, I've been posted in France beginning of the 90s. Even though we share the same language, when you're in France, you feel like being in a very different business culture. But when you work coming from Quebec, you come in the United States. There are a lot of similarities, in Quebec. Even though we speak French, we have different maybe way of life, customs. We are North American.
Right.
The way we do business, it's the same way we do business in the U.S. So it's quite easy for a business person to go to Quebec. Most of business people speak English, so the language is not a barrier to do business in Quebec.
Right. Interesting. Peter?
Do you try to solicit investments from Americans into Quebec? And
Yes,
so what do you do?
Yes, our office works with a Quebec agency named Invest Quebec. They come over here quite frequently. They organize conferences, seminars to talk about Quebec, to promote Quebec investment opportunity here in New England. Also, we arrange meeting, one-on-one meeting with companies that we think would be interested in investing in Quebec. So it's behind the curtain work. It's you have to convince an investor. You have to be sure that the person is comfortable with all aspects of the location we offer to them. So it's a lot of personal work.
Jean, if someone wanted to learn more about Quebec, the Quebec trade office here in Boston, or talk with you or whomever there is in your office, how would they connect with you?
Well, they can, first we have a Facebook page, Quebec Boston. If you go there, you will have the opportunity to have to be connected with information of what's going on in Quebec, and you can also win ticket to some cultural activities in Boston. When Quebec artists are coming. You can also go on our website, quebec-boston.org, where you'll find information on Quebec, and also you can call us at our office here in Boston.
Great. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm sitting with Peter Morrison. We've just interviewed Jean Saint-Onge.
Correct.
Good. That was a good guess on my part. Of the Quebec, of the government of Quebec, the delegation de Quebec in Boston, the delegation of Quebec in Boston. A pleasure having you on, and we hope you have you on
My
again.
Thank you very much, John.
The Quebec delegation has been a frequent visitor to us, and they've also brought some companies in to interview with us, and you've been a strong partner for Radio Entrepreneurs. So we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back after these messages on Radio